What's good, everyone? As the 2026 wedding season fast approaches, I thought it was about time that I did another rig rundown, taking you through what's going to be in my camera bag for this upcoming wedding season. If you're new here, my name is Scott, and I am a wedding videographer and photographer in the UK. So let's get into it. But the first thing that I actually wanted to show you was this. Now, this may not be what looks like the most exciting piece of gear, but for me, this is going to change my life at weddings. So, what I'm actually showing you, I've got my monitor mount here, but this little piece on top is a small little quick release plate system from Small Rig. I've only just recently become aware of it, but I understand it came out in 2022. However, I'm sure there's plenty other people out there that this will be new to as well. And essentially, you can put it onto like the monitor mounts, you can put it on light stands. In this case, I've got the other little attachment that comes with it on my Insta360 here. So you can just pull down this lever on the back, and like I say, it's a quick release plate. And whatever you attach to it, that's not going anywhere. So I can have that on my camera, quickly take it on and off. I'm using this for like behind the scenes stuff. I can attach my lights to light stands, like I've got one on a light stand here. I'm basically gonna put one of these on every single accessory I have. So like my monitor, quickly take the monitor on and off the grip handle. The applications are pretty endless really, and it's just about making my life much more quick and easy because I spend so much time at weddings fiddling around. When it gets to like the party time, I'm like screwing the light onto the light stand, and sometimes the thread doesn't line up quickly when you do it in a hurry. When it's this just quick and easy, it's a no-brainer, and they're pretty cheap, so I think that's a must. If you saw my version of this video last year, you will see that I was primarily shooting on Lumix, in particular the Lumix S5 II, and that is still going to be the case for this year. However, there is a new headline act, the Lumix S1R2. So this is new for 2026. And the reason that I got this is because this year I'm going to be doing a lot more photography, a lot more hybrid weddings, so shooting both photo and film. And I wanted something that could capture amazing photos as well as great video. And obviously Lumix are just the absolute best where that is concerned. Now, I will admit that prior to buying the S1R2, I did make a mistake and I purchased something else. The intention was to get something purely for photography and then let the S5 IIs handle all the video stuff whilst I'm doing my hybrid shooting. So I picked up a Leica SL2S from MPB, played around with it for a bit. I actually used it at a party that I shot, and to be completely honest, it was a complete hog. And I realized that I should have gone with my gut and got the camera that I wanted from the get-go, which was the S1R2. What put me off getting the S1R2 initially was I thought that it was potentially overkill for what I needed. I can hold my hands up and say I was wrong. It's an incredible camera. Same can't be said for the Leica, surprisingly. And, it's going to become my A cam for video as well. So the days where I'm not shooting photo and video at the same time, that will be my video A cam. The features on it are stupendous. I'm not going to go into detail on what that camera offers. There's plenty of videos out there that do that, but suffice to say, it is a beast. So as I mentioned, I also shoot with Lumix S5 IIs. So I've got one here. This is my setup that has the Black Mamba cage and grip handle, both from Small Rig. It's got this little attachment up here for attaching my monitor, which is the Atomos Ninja 5. I'll probably still keep all of this on here for this year. I have a strap that I can attach to these two little pins, so I can sling that around. So depending on what focal length I have on here, I can sling that up, grab a few shots, have that back down. And you probably noticed that on the S1R2 I have the spider holster, so that just goes into like a little attachment on the belt. And again, I could have a different focal length on here, get video clips that I want. So at the moment, I've got my 50mm on here. So that just allows me to be versatile. I can switch quickly between different focal lengths when I'm not using my zoom lenses and I'm shooting just on primes. And when it comes to doing hybrid, I'm probably going to be crazy enough to have this one here filming whilst I snap a few photos with the S1R2. One thing I forgot to mention is the sensor is 44 megapixel sensor for photos, so they're going to be big files, but absolutely incredible to work with. Like I said, I've got two S52s, the other one I'm filming this video on. Having more than one camera allows me to capture multiple different angles during things like the ceremony and speeches, and really allows me to get a great deal of flexibility with focal length. Next up is this little baby, my Lumix S9. So in 2025, this served as a camera that I was capturing what I was calling at the time premium content creation. So I was getting some photos and some film clips with the built-in LUT function, and I was delivering that to couples the very next day as an alternative to content creators that were snapping away on phones. When couples hadn't booked the content packages, this was C cam, so this was just a safety angle for ceremony and speeches, and I would occasionally get a few little clips of B-roll on it as well. Absolute beast. I'll still be using it this year. The benefit of having so many cameras, so the S9, the two S52s, and the S1R2 means I've got a great deal of flexibility in focal lengths. I can capture multiple angles during the ceremony and speeches, and I've kind of just got all bases covered. For monitoring, I use the Atomos Ninja 5, and I have the little SSD that goes in the back, so that's like a third backup for recording, a bit more peace of mind, and it's got that hot lock accessory on there as well. So quickly bang that onto the grip handle that I have on my rig, and then that leads us nicely from cameras into the lenses. So as you would have seen, I've got the 50mm 1.8 Lumix Prime on the S1R2 currently. I also have the 35mm. These are all 1.8s. The 85mm and the 24 to 105. This is f4 continuous throughout the zoom range. Kind of dissed this in last year's video. There's something about it that I wasn't happy with in terms of picture quality, but this isn't like an A lens now. This is just kind of great when I need to like punch in for ceremony and for speeches, and when I need a little bit of versatility that the primes can't offer. But I also have, which I'm filming with right now, the Lumix S Pro 24 to 70 f2.8. So that sits on this setup all day. At least it did in 2025, but I'm always changing and tweaking things, experimenting, or really just applying whatever sort of setup is best for the situation that I'm in on the day and what is gonna get the best results for the couple. But yeah, the 24 to 70 primarily is gonna sit on here. I'll probably keep the 50mm on the S1R2 and interchange it with the 85. And then for this camera that I'm filming on, probably the 35. That'll be like a semi-wide kind of ceremony angle. And then I'll probably put this onto the S9 for ceremony speeches, and then that will kind of be at the back of the room, and then I can just punch in as much as I need to. I can utilize the hybrid zoom feature if I need to as well, which is, if you're not aware of that on Lumix cameras, look it up. And if you're not on Lumix, when you really should be, you don't know what you're missing. Next up, crucially, audio. So as wedding filmmakers, we know how vital it is to capture good audio. So I have two of these Tascam DR10Ls. Don't use these so much anymore, but they're good little backups to have. You never know when you might need them. I have the DJI mics, which I'm using right now. This is just the first gen batch. Perfectly good for what I need. I know there's been newer iterations that do like 32-bit float and all that, but these have served me well. I don't see the need to upgrade them just yet. And I have the DJI mic minis. So these go on guests that are giving a reading. Being how small and discreet they are, they're easy to hide in a dress. I can even clip them onto the reading card if I need to. So that's really only ever used for ceremony readings. I also have the Tascam DR40. So this allows me to get desk feeds, or I put it onto the internal mic setting if we're in a church, and then I can just kind of put that on the lectern, and I know that when a guest is up there giving a reading or reading scripture, that's going to capture their voice. Again, I know there are more modern versions of this out there now with all the 32-bit float and other features, but like I say, this is all I need. It does everything I need it to do, captures perfectly good audio, never have had any issues, so I really don't see the need to spend any more money on an upgrade. This does the job just as well. All of my audio cables are kept in a lens pouch. Whoa! Yeah, a lens pouch that Lumix sent when I purchased one of their lenses, and I've basically got everything under the sun that you could ever need. We have got XLRs, we've got RCAs, aux cables, 1/4-inch jacks, you name it, it's there. So I've got every base covered. Really important. You can't rely on DJs to have cables that you need, and quite often, you know, they're not even there till the evening anyway. The venue are never going to have something that you need audio cable wise, so they're not expensive. I'll link all these in the description. You can pick them up on Amazon and you're covered. So I have also acquired classic industry standard Sony TX660. So this is for speeches really, as a secondary way of capturing them alongside the DR40. Obviously got the sleeve, goes over the mic, that goes in there. And then that's an additional way to record the speaker's voices. In the past, I was doing that with one of the DJI mics, having that in a sleeve. But there's every possibility with these, because they don't lock, that somebody could accidentally hit the record button with their thumb and turn it off. You know, when it's kind of at the side of a microphone, they could quite easily put their thumb over the receiver. So that kind of made me nervous, and I was always aware that it was a possibility. So got this. You can't really block the inputs on that, and there's the hold function. So peace of mind for recording the speeches. One thing I should have done actually with the lenses, I've just seen these in my little pouch, is my latest ND filter system, which is for the 24-70. On my other lenses, all the primes, the 24-105, I have K&F Concept variable ND filters with a built-in circular polarizer. Now this is a Nissi true color variable ND. It's 1 to 5 stops, and being a true ND, it doesn't have any color cast, doesn't affect the picture quality in any way. So it's 1 to 5 stops, but then you may have seen me just take this off. It comes with this, and that just clips on there. So if it's super bright, that transforms the 1 to 5 to 5 to 9. So very good. Very, very good. I love how it looks because it doesn't affect the image. And on the subject of filters, on all my lenses, I have Tiffin either glimmer glass or in this case Pro Mist. So the Pro Mists are all quarters, and the glimmer glass is on my 24-25. The glimmer glass is actually 1, which is quite strong, but it's not too much compared to like a Pro Mist. And on this 24-70, I have a glimmer glass, which is a quarter. As you can see with the light bulbs, just gives that nice kind of blooming effect, and it kind of reduces the overall digital look of the image, which I really like. Grip handle for the monitor is this Siri, however you say it. It's a NATO rail one, which I much prefer. Just goes on the top of this rig I was showing you earlier. Slides on there. That's all good, and then you're good to go. Obviously, you tighten it up, and then the Hawk lock's on there again, so I can whack the monitor on, and we're golden. Now, if you've ever been on my Instagram, you'll see that I like to capture behind the scenes at weddings, and primarily, as I showed you earlier, I'm using the Insta360 and the Meta Ray-Bans. Drop the Insta360. I have the Wayfarer versions, which are very snazzy, very nice. I obviously don't let BTS get in the way of prioritizing capturing moments for the couple. I do it when it's appropriate. It's resonated with people. It's gone down very well. And couples actually really like seeing it. It's like another little window into their day. And I think people appreciate that. They want to consume as much content from their wedding as possible, which I totally get. So yeah, I use these to give you a little window into how I work on the day, my process, how I interact with guests and the couple. And like I say, it's been really well received. It resonates with people and gives them an idea of what I'm going to be like on the day, which is also really important when booking a supplier. I think couples like to see what you're going to be like. So that's been invaluable in that regard. You know, some people have even mentioned to me during the booking process. So if you've ever thought about doing BTS and you've been unsure, I would really recommend just giving it a try. You don't have to spend tons of money on, the 360 or the metas. You can just attach your phone. You can get a cheap kind of phone stand attachment for your camera and just go from there. See how it goes. See if you enjoy it. For my lighting, I primarily use the Xion Molus. This is the X100. You just attach a battery on here, and I always use it with the softbox attachment, which just clips onto the front here. This is obscenely bright for for its size. It really kind of covers me on the day for everything I need. I do have other lighting options should I need them. So for instance, my key light up here is the Aperture 600D. So on a wedding day, I don't often need to bust this one out unless it's really, really dark. I have a soft box for it, which isn't really appropriate at wedding, not without being kind of obtrusive. So I'll only really ever use this with like the barn doors, back of a room if it's really dark. Like I say, I need to like light someone during speech or something like that. Otherwise, it's this. I use this on the dance floor as well. And I also use my other light, which I've got just here, which is Aperture MC RGB light. Absolutely, absolutely great. Let me grab it actually. I'll show you. I've got a battery pack going into it at the moment because I've been running it down on the old Hawk lock again. So as this is on the Hawk lock, when it comes to dance floor action, I'll have that monitor stand on here, so I can always just attach that on there. And if this is a little too much, or it's gotten to the point where it's affecting the sort of dance floor ambiance, I can just whip that off, put this on here, and it's a little more subtle, little more discreet, but gets the results that I need. Absolutely stellar light. Can't recommend these enough. And if I just put this back on here, you can see the difference it's making. So I mean, I've got it running low as it's just kind of like fit like a little feel, but on a dance floor, perfect. For the gimbal, I'm using the DJI RS4. So this isn't getting as much use anymore. When I got the 24-70 midway through last year's wedding season, it was with the intention of being predominantly handheld for most of the wedding day, which I saw out. That's how I shot the rest of the 2025 wedding season, was handheld. So this isn't getting used as much, mainly just for a few establishers, a few other little shots here and there. The stabilization on these Limits cameras is so insane that I can get the same results as I would with this, and it's kind of made this a little redundant. Just show you the bag real quick, because I got a new bag. I was on the K&F concept roller bag, but this year I've replaced that because it was in bits. This is a PGY Tech. It's absolutely cavernous. I get everything I need in there. I do have another K&F concept bag for kind of lighting equipment, and my gimbal goes in there as well, but that kind of stays in the car until I need it. But this has got all the cameras, all the lenses, all the audio. This insert I had earlier, which my lenses are in, this comes with the bag, so you can unzip a side pocket and just slide that right out, and it's just quick and easy. So if I'm shooting at a church, for example, and I don't need to take everything from the bag in, I can just slide this out. I have my cameras on me, and then I know that I've got all the lenses I need. Should I need to change focal lengths, put a zoom on, put a different prime on, that's in there. To accompany it, I went and got higher litre capacity, 7 litres this one, than what I was using last year, which was this. This is Tarion. This is a cheap one from Amazon. This one, much bigger, get a lot more in it, so I can keep my batteries in here. Gonna keep all of my audio bits that I need to take from point A to point B when, going from ceremony to drinks reception or whatnot. I keep an additional Ronin handle in there. Why might I do that, you ask? Well, it actually goes onto the bottom of this. Now, as far as I'm aware, I was the first person doing this. I hadn't seen anyone else. I thought I was very clever, but I did see someone else on Instagram doing it. So, just a bit more stability handheld, which is great. I love it. I'll also keep my my BTS bits in there as well. And on the rare occasion that I am using the gimbal, if I wanted, it has this front little pouch that you can slide the gimbal in there, just like rest in there. So that is a great bit of kit as well. PGY Tech. Found them on Amazon. I went down rabbit holes with bags looking for the right one. I bought a few that I even sent back, but these, the build quality, the capacity, everything about them is great. I will link them in the description below. Obviously have power banks for charging batteries as well. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm not going to go too in depth giving you reviews on the gear and what all the features are. There's plenty of videos out there that do all of that. This is more just to showcase what I'm packing on a wedding day, all of the essential items that I carry with me. But there is one more thing, and that is demonstrated by this. Now, what is this, you might ask? It's obviously a lens. This is what is known as a Copal 3 lens, and it is for large format photography. I have just invested in a large format photography camera, and I'm going to be setting up a new business to run alongside HC Visuals, offering a service that will be of interest to my couples, past, present, and future. So you may not know, I have a tattoo studio which I manage with my wife. She's a tattoo artist. I go there, and when I'm not doing weddings, I manage the shop. And we are set in a very beautiful Grade 2 listed building, 14th century, absolutely stunning. So we've decided on our off days, when the shop is shut, we're going to turn it into a portrait studio, specifically tintypes. It was a photography process developed in the 1850s, and it involves, like I say, the aluminium plate, and you pour something called collodion on that plate, do a load of other chemistry stuff that I'm not going to get into now. I will look at doing that in future videos. But essentially a type of photography that was developed, like I say, in the 1850s, probably made famous in a lot of like Western style photos that you see. And the photos are absolutely stunning. I've not done them yet. I'm still waiting for the camera that is being custom built. I went down that route rather than looking for an antique, as I just wanted kind of reliability. You never know with antiques. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing a lot more info on that in future videos. Very exciting. 2026, big things happening. Thanks for watching. Check out the gear below. Maybe buy a few things. But otherwise, see you on the next one.